What's up, YouTube? KM888 here with a deck profiling of some PsychicSoils. All over YouTube you can find some PsychicSoil decks. It's all very good, but this is my version of it. Now, I've been working on this deck really long. This deck is like really good for now in this metagame, I think. I started with this deck like in the previous format when Emergency Teleport was still a 2, so yeah, I've been testing it a really long time by now. I'm going to do the video in 2 parts because I also know there are 2 kind of people watching deck profiles. There are the people that just want to know the deck list, things like that. And then there are the people who are actually interested in why did I choose this card, why did I choose that card, why did I choose this card over that card, stuff like that. So I guess I'm going to start off with the first thing then, showing off the deck. Since it's a psychic deck, guess I'm going to start off with psychics. 3 Serene Psychic Witches to begin with. Really good card for the deck. 2 Esper Girls. Like I said, if you want to know why I chose 2 Esper Girls, just watch the video till the end and you'll know. 1 Psychic Jumper. 3 Silent Psychic Wizards. 1 Hushed Psychic Cleric. 2 Psychic Commanders. And 1 Overdrive Teleporter. That are my Psychic monsters. Now for the other monsters of this deck, I play 2 Grand Soil, the Elemental Lord. 1 Blacklusted Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning. 1 Gorse, the Emissary of Darkness. I don't know if you can watch it, if you can see the Gorge or not, but yeah, it is a Ghost Gold Rare Gorse. 2 Effect Veilers. 1 Maxi. 1 Tech Genus Striker. And 2 Tech Genus Warwolves. Now that rounds up the monster cards. So let's go over to the spell cards. Of course, being a psychic deck, this deck needs 3 emergency teleports. Really an awesome card. For consistency, of course, 2 Pot of Dualities. 1 Pot of Avarice, because I play that many monsters. 1 Monster Reborn. Dark Hole. Heavy. Staples. I play 2 Mystical Space Typhoons. Yeah, this is a Mystical Space Typhoon, also Ghost Rare, so yeah, you might be able to see it. Really cool card. 1 Book of Moon. 1 Enemy Controller. 1 Creature Swap. 1 Mind Control. And a Miracle Synchro Fusion. That's it for the spell cards. And then I have 3 trap cards for you guys, which are 2 Torrential Tributes and 1 Psychic Overload. Now, that was it for the main deck. 42 cards, like I said. If you don't agree with this 42 cards, just make a comment below. I don't really mind 42 cards. It's the most consistent that I've had up till now. So, yeah, really great. I guess it's time to show off the extra deck then. Let's put these on the side for a while, the main deck. Now the extra deck. First of all, I'm going to show off the Synchro monsters. And we begin with the level 5s. First of all, the Psychic monster for the level 5s, Magical Android. Then Naturia Beast. Tech Genus Hyper Librarian. And Tech Genus Wonder Magician. That rounds up the level 5s. For the level 6 monsters, Psychic Nightmare and Naturia Barkion. Level 7, Psychic Life Transfer and Black Rose Dragon. As well with the Naturia Barkion and Black Rose Dragon, I don't know if you can see them well enough. They're both Ghost Rare, so yeah, like that. Then we have for the level 8, Thought Ruler Archfiend and Scrap Dragon. And for our level 9s, we have Hyper Psychic Blaster and last Overmind Archfiend. Then come the Xyz monsters, which are Windup Zen Mains and Leviar the Sea Dragon. And last but not least, our fusion monster, Ultimate Axe and Kicker. Really a boss monster. That's all for the extra deck. And then we have our side deck. I'll immediately explain the side deck because even people who want the deck list still need to know why they need these cards to be their sides. I play 2 Thunder King Ryo. Thunder King Ryo, really good card against monsters that are against decks that are summon really big monsters. It's good against heroes. It's good against some anti-meta decks, stuff like that. Decks that synchro a lot, like plants, lavals. Then decks that exceed summon a lot, like Wind Up, stuff like that. Dino Rabbit, also a good card to side Thunder King against. So yeah, 2 Thunder King Ryo. Then I play 2 Kinetic Soldiers. Now, one of these Kinetic Soldiers has to be a second Max C later on, but I'm waiting for the tin to come out, so yeah. For now, 2 Kinetic Soldiers. Really good card against heroes, against 6 Sams, and against every warrior deck, basically. Maybe if someone is playing a heroic deck, this card is still good. So, 2 Kinetic Soldiers. Then, 1 Side Blocker, and to fill that card up, 1 Prohibition. Now, both Psyblocker and Prohibition have the ability to basically lock down a card of your choosing. You just name a card and your opponent can't play or use that card. But there is a little difference in the effect. Psyblocker can also negate cards that are already on the field, but he only negates them until the end of your opponent's turn. Prohibition stays on the field, but it can't stop cards that are already on the field. So basically Psyblocker can also stop legendary 6 Samurai Shien, stuff like that, if it's already on the field. Just summon Psyblocker, call legendary 6 Samurai Shien, and the Shien can't use its effect. Stuff like that. That's why I run 1 Psyblocker and 1 Prohibition. Like that. Then 2 System Downs. System Down. This format, I think it's a great card. I choose it over Cyber Dragons because System Down only takes 2 slots in my side deck, while Cyber Dragons take down 3 because 2 Cyber Dragons and 1 Chimera Tech. System Down is a great card against Geargia, Machina, Gadgets, Karakuri, and Cyber decks. So yeah, pretty awesome. Then I have some... then for my side deck, I have some anti-spell and trap cards. First of all, 1 additional MST, 1 Dust Tornado, and 2 Royal Decree. Royal Decree, Dust Tornado, and MST are all anti-spell and trap for me. I really hate face downs on opposite sides of the field, so yeah, these cards help me when needed. Then, 2 Bottomless Trap Holes. Seems obvious enough against heroes, against... what else? Against anti-meta, against Rabbit, stuff like that. So yeah. And last but not least, 1 Shadow Imprisoning Mirror against Dark Worlds and Insector, stuff like that. That rounds up the side deck. I don't think I need to explain any more for the side deck, and I've already given the deck list, so I'm gonna pause the video right here. You don't have to do it because you won't notice it probably. And I'll be back in an instant just to explain some of the cards of my deck. So yeah, see you in a sec. Okay, I'm back and I'm gonna explain the cards that are in the deck right now. 3 Serene Psychic Witch. Why do I play it? Well, Serene Psychic Witch is basically one of the best cards in the entire deck. You just set it, you just play it. I prefer to set it, basically. Whenever it's destroyed, set to the graveyard, so destroyed by battle, destroyed by card effect, doesn't matter. You just pick any Psychic monster from your deck with 2000 or less attack, banish that card, and in the next standby phase you can special summon that same card with this effect. So, basically, you set this card, let it get destroyed, then you get a Psychic monster, and that will be special summoned during the next standby phase. Now, what I prefer to go and get is Esper Girl. Most Psychic players will agree with me that Esper Girl is the main target for Serene Psychic Witch. Esper Girl's effect says that whenever it's special summoned from the banished pile, you can, which is exactly what Serene Psychic Witch will do, you can take the top of your deck and banish that card face down. Then afterwards, when Espergirl is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add that card to your hand. So basically, it's a mini draw engine. Every time you do this with Espergirl, you get a card from your deck. It thins your deck really quick, and yeah, it can even be used while synchro summoning because Espergirl can't miss the timing. So really great. Now, what happens mostly is after I get my Serene effect and it is destroyed and I banish the Esper Girl, my opponents sometimes set Solemn Warning, and in my next standby phase, they will just warning the Serene Psychic Witch, so I won't get the Esper Girl. Now, Esper Girl in that option will stay banished. This is actually pretty bad for most of the Psychic players that only run one Esper Girl, because the only way to get back that Esper Girl is to play a Leviar at that point. I don't like that. I run a second Esper Girl just for that reason. Stuff like that, I don't want to deal with it. The second Esper Girl, it isn't wrong. I mean, I've seen a lot of plays that I set a Serene Psychic Witch. The opponent also just sets a monster. At the second turn, I get a second Serene Psychic Witch face down, and I set a Torrential. On the Torrential, from when my opponent summons something, 2 Serene Psychic Witches will be destroyed. I'll just be getting 2 Esper Girls banishing at the same time. In my next standby phase, they will be special summoned. They will both be special summoned. At this point, I basically get to draw 2 cards. That is just amazing. Psychic players that only run one Esper Girl just don't know how to run Esper Girl. I mean, Esper Girl at 2 is way better than Esper Girl at 1. I have to agree, sometimes it can be inconsistent when you draw into it, like if you draw both of it, but even then you can just like summon it or discard it with another card's effect. So yeah, really great. Then the next card. 1 Psychic Jumper. Psychic Jumper. Why do I play only 1? A lot of players play it at 2, but I only like it at 1. Just because the fact that you need to pay life points. What happens a lot is that whenever I summon it, and I use its effect, my opponent just Veilers it, or Fiendish Chains it, or whatever. So yeah, at that point my Psychic Jumper is basically useless, and it's just sitting there being a level 2 tuner. Although it's still kinda good, that's why it can only be stopped by things like Effect Veiler, Divine Rat, stuff like that, so the opponent has to throw a good card on it anyways. But paying 1000 life just to get rid of an Effect Veiler, I don't think it's always worth it, so yeah. What I do like to do with this card is whenever I have a Serene Psychic Witch out, I just use Jumper's effect, switch Serene Psychic Witch with any monster of my choosings. That's like the great part of Jumper. It's a creature swap on steroids. And then I just blow up my own Serene Psychic Witch with their monster. So at that point I get Serene Psychic Witch's effect and banish most likely an Esper Girl or yeah, whatever. In the second main phase I can even synchro summon with Jumper and the monster that I took. So yeah, pretty good. Pretty awesome. Next, I play 3 Silent Psychic Wizards. Now, I see some people play 2 of these. I don't get why. I mean, you just summon it, like normal summon, and you can already banish 1 psychic monster from your grave. Most likely you're gonna banish an Esper Girl, just because you will get its effect then again. So, it's just summoning Silent Psychic Wizard makes pluses all day long. I don't get people that only play 2, because even if you have this as the only card in your hand, it's still a 1900 beater. So yeah, even if you don't get its effect, it's still a good card. So yeah. Silent Psychic Wizard, just summon it, banish any psychic monster from your grave. Just that effect, it doesn't only target like small monsters like most effect does. Silent Psychic Wizard, it can even banish big monsters, like imagine you have a Thought Ruler Archfiend in your graveyard. Just banish the Thought Ruler. Then whenever Silent Psychic Wizard is sent to the graveyard, special summon Thought Ruler. Yeah, you can plus immensely off of it, so yeah. Silent Psychic Wizard, definitely one of the greatest cards in this deck, so I played at 3. Really good. Nothing more I can say about that. Something similar to Silent Psychic Wizard is a Hushed Psychic Cleric. This card basically has the same effect. First of all, when you summon it, it gets the effect of Summoner Monk, so it switches to defense, and it has 2100 defense. So Thunder King can kiss its ass. I mean, 2100 defense, it's really great. Your opponent most of the time has to synchro or assist to get over this, so yeah, really great. Then, second effect of Hush Psychic Cleric is something similar to Zombie Master and Lightsworn Lumina. Like, if you already need a Psychic monster in your grave for it, first of all, to activate. Then, you can just ditch one card in your hand and target a Psychic monster in your graveyard. So, most of the time what I do is I discard a card and banish that Esper Girl. Of course, you can also banish big monsters like Thought Ruler Archfiend again or whatever that you want, but Esper Girl is most of the time the thing you want to go for because it allows extra pluses. Now, whenever the Hush Psychic Cleric is then sent from the field to the graveyard, you can again special summon the monster that is banished by this card. Really great card, 2100 defense, level 3. This means that it can be summoned by emergency teleport and by my overdrive teleporter. Overdrive teleporter. That brings me to the next card with my Hush Psychic Cleric. I also have Psychic Commanders at 2 and an overdrive teleporter. Now, Overdrive Teleporter is a life monster, so a target for BLS, really awesome. But what I mostly do is this move. Like, imagine this Psychic Commander being gone for a while. Not a bad move of this deck, of course. You have the Serene Psychic Witch in defense. It got destroyed, sent to your graveyard. For you guys, the graveyard should be here. So like this. Graveyard. You banished the Esper Girl, and you got it back in your standby phase, so special summon Esper Girl. At this point, also you got to banish a card from the top of your deck, so imagine this is the card banished from the top of your deck. Tribute summon Esper Girl. Normal summon Overdrive Teleporter. At this point you get the card that was banished in your hand, and then you use Overdrive Teleporter's effect, paying 2000 life points and summoning a Hush Psychic Cleric and a Psychic Commander. In this situation you have lots and lots of possibilities. You can use Cleric's effect, ditch Esper Girl, synchro with Commander, get that Esper Girl and synchro with the Teleporter. There are so many ways you can use this and misuse this effect. Also, if you don't have an Esper Girl in your graveyard, you don't have to get the Hush Psychic Cleric. You can just summon another Serene Psychic Witch, hope to get its effect in the next turn or something, and just synchro with the Commander and the Teleporter into a level 9 synchro monster, which I do play. I have a target for that. So yeah, pretty awesome. Now, why do I run Commanders? Not only for the Overdrive Teleporter effect, but also for its own effect. I'm going to talk about it a while now. The Commander, in the damage step, you can pay life points up to 500, and the opponent's monster loses that amount of attack from life points that you paid. So, pretty darn good, actually. You can just this way you can get equal to Thunder King, and if you have both out, you can even get tied with the Monarch. So, yeah, pretty awesome effect if you ask me. Yeah. That's for the Commanders and the Teleporter, so really good cards. That rounded up the Psychic monsters again. Now for our other monsters, I play 2 Grand Soil the Elemental Lord. Seems kinda obvious if you saw how many Earth monsters that I played. The Commanders are Earth, Hush Psychic Cleric is Earth, Silent Psychic Wizards are Earth, Jumper is Earth, Esper Girls are Earth, and Serene Psychic Witch is Earth. So, a lot of Earths. Grand Soul, the Elemental Lord, can be special summoned when I have 5 Earths in my grave. It has to be exactly 5, which isn't hard to get actually. Silent Psychic Wizard, Hush Psychic Cleric, they can all banish from my graveyard, and yeah, stuff like that. It's just crazy. Grand Soul, in 90% of the duels, I can get my Grand Soul off if I draw it. So yeah, really, really good. Also, Grand Soul, when it's summoned, it basically is a monster reborn. What's that? You have a Chien in your grave? Give me that Chien. Stuff like that. So yeah, really, really awesome. Oh, BLS in your graveyard. Give me that BLS. You don't have anything in your grave? Fine, I'll take the BLS in my graveyard. So yeah, Grand Soul, pretty good card. Next to that, Blackluster Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning, better known as BLS. I play enough lights, I play enough darks in this build. I believe I have 3 lights in my main deck and 2 more lights in my extra deck. And I have, I think, 2 darks in my main deck and around 4 darks in my extra deck or something. So yeah, I do have targets for BLS. I really like BLS also, so I didn't want to make a deck that goes without it. In this metagame, you really need the BLS. So yeah, I don't think I have to say any more about this. Gores. This card is really awesome. I only play 3 trap cards, which are basically going to leave the field as soon as my opponent summons a monster, because it's like 2 torrentials. And the third is a Psychic Overload, which I'll only set if I have the targets in my grave, so yeah. Gores, Emissary of Darkness, pretty damn good card. It helped me in so many ways, yeah. I can't even begin to subscribe that. Then for the hand traps, 2 Veilers and 1 Maxi. Now, I ran 2 Maxi as well for a very, very long time. Now, why don't I run this? Because I found that 2 Maxi in this format is pretty damn inconsistent, actually. It's good against some decks, but it's also bad against other decks. I mean, the only decks against which you actually want to use this is against plants, against Lavals, or against windups, and windups will just not stop their OTK because of Maxi. So you have more chance to win with the Veilers and with the Gores than you have with the Maxi. So I'd rather run 2 Veilers and 1 Maxi than 2 Veilers and 2 Maxi, because I really need that extra slot from in my deck, which already is 42 cards, and yeah, stuff like that. So 2 Maxi was too much for me. I decided to run 1. It's proven its worth, actually. So yeah, I do want to side a second one, but I don't have that yet. I'm waiting for the tin. So yeah, pretty good actually. That's being reprinted. And then for the TG stuff, why the hell did I decide to run Tech Genus monsters in this deck? It all started out with 1 TG Warwolf. Why did I play it? Well, simply you special summon a lot. Turn 1, you get your Serene Psychic Witch, you set it. It gets destroyed. It's sent to the graveyard. You get your Esper Girl. Banish Esper Girl, and in standby phase, Esper Girl, Warwolf. Warwolf and Esper Girl, Synchro Summon to a level 5. Get TG Wonder Magician and blow up one of their face downs. I'm not gonna get it right now, you'll see it later on. But with TG Warwolf, I can play the TG Wonder Magician and basically blow up a back row without having to have a normal summon yet. So yeah, really, really good. It's also a Dark Monster for BLS, so pretty damn awesome. Now, I said it started out with 1 Warwolf. That's indeed where it started. Because it worked that well, it quickly grew to 2 Warwolves. Now, 2 Warwolves, something started to happen. People tended to destroy at least one of the 2 Warwolves. Since it's destroyed, I could get an effect that adds a TG to my hand in the end phase. But I didn't run any. So I decided to run TG Striker. TG Striker can be special summoned as soon as I don't have any monsters, but the opponent does. Really good card to have, actually. My field is empty. Special TG Striker. Normal summon Silent Psychic Wizard. Banish the Psychic in your grave. Synchro for Barkion. At this point you get that monster back. Really good for certain plays. So yeah, I don't see my deck running any other TGs, but these 3 are amazing. I'm keeping at 2 Warwolf and 1 Striker because yeah, it's just the best for now and I don't need any other TGs. So yeah, pretty good. That runs up the monsters. Now to go over to the spells. 3 emergency teleports. I don't think that needs any explanations. You just get any level 3 or below psychic from your deck, so yeah, pretty good. 2 dualities. I said it in the deck list already. This is just to increase the consistency of the deck because you really need the dualities. Just choosing out of the 3 next draws is awesome. 1 Pot of Avarice. This is mainly used to control the number of Earths in your graveyard because I really run a lot of Earths, and Pot of Avarice really likes to get those Earths back into my deck. The main targets I will choose, like, even if I have more than 5 synchros in there, I will probably not go for those synchros. I will probably like choose the wizards in my grave and the Hush Psychic Cleric, stuff like that, just so the number of Earths in my deck, in my graveyard, is getting lowered. And also, the synchros in my graveyard don't really mind being there. I mean, if I get Grand Soul on the field, I just special summon those synchros again. Of course, it's another situation when those synchros were Solemn Warning or Solemn Judgment. I might actually return those synchros back to the deck in that situation. So yeah, 1 Pot of Avarice because it's at 1 on the ban list. So yeah, Pot of Avarice, great card. Then Staples, Monster Reborn, Dark Hole, Heavy. I don't see why I shouldn't run these. They are great in any deck. Well, not any deck, but most decks. 2 Mystical Space Typhoon. If I could run 3, I'd probably do it. But I'm starting to see 2 kinds of decks. Like decks that play lots and lots of traps, and decks that play almost none. Against the latter one, the decks that almost don't play traps, MST is almost dead. So yeah, I do like it at 2. At 3, it wouldn't actually be that bad. But yeah, I cite the third one just because for decks that have really a lot of traps and spells and stuff like that they set. So yeah, 2 MSCs for me. Then Book of Moon and Enemy Controller. These 2 were really tough for me to get into my deck because I needed a reasonable reason, and I started searching for one, and I actually got one which was pretty damn awesome. This would happen really a lot. Like, summon Silent Psychic Wizard, effect OK opponent, Veiler. Shit. Now I'm stuck. That was my play. Crap. What do I do now? Summon Silent Psychic Wizard. Effect OK opponent. Veiler. Chain Enemy Controller. Tribute Silent Psychic Wizard. Give me your monster. Silent Psychic Wizard effect still goes off, so I get my tuner. Synchro with your monster. Good game? No, really, it's pretty awesome. Silent Psychic Wizard, summon. Okay, Bottomless. Book of Moon, Enemy Controller. 1 out of 2, it doesn't really matter. I save my Silent Psychic Wizard, and I still get its effect. Really good. That's why I play Enemy Controller and Book of Moon. Also, it stops certain OTKs, just in case that I had to set them because I didn't have anything else. So, yeah. Pretty good cards. Book of Moon and Enemy Controller. Speaking of controlling your enemy, Creature Swap, Mind Control. This deck likes to steal the opponent's monster. Oh, you make a big monster. I don't care. Creature Swap. You make a big monster that... You make an Exceed monster. Mind Control. Give me that effect. Really, it's just way too good to abuse. Not to abuse. Just Creature Swap, Mind Control, get anything you want, and... Yeah, even with the Psychic Jumper and the Enemy Controller, you can get really, really a lot. 1 Miracle Synchro Fusion is used to bait out the big boss of this deck, Ultimate Axe and Kicker. These are actually pretty great. I mean, Miracle Synchro Fusion, it has a double effect. First of all, when you just play it, you have to banish 1 Psychic type Synchro monster and 1 normal Psychic monster, which I run enough of. Then you can special summon, you can fusion summon from your extra deck, that Ultimate Axe and Kicker. Now, second effect of Miracle Synchro Fusion. You said it? Your opponent MSTs this card. Your opponent heavies that card. It doesn't matter. It's destroyed by your opponent. Miracle Synchro Fusion effect, I draw a card. Really great. Miracle Synchro Fusion is definitely one of the best cards in this deck. It gives me pluses, it makes the boss monster live, and believe me, whenever you get Ultimate Axe and Kicker out, it's really hard to get over. Now then, for the traps. 2 Torrential Tributes. It's kinda obvious why I choose this, to stop big plays from the opponent, and also my monsters don't really hate it to be destroyed. I mean, Cerise Psychic Witch, Esper Girl, Silent Psychic Wizard, Hush Psychic Cleric, they all have an effect that when they are sent from the field to the grave, they will just special summon something else to the field, or I get to draw a card with that Esper Girl, stuff like that. I really don't mind torrentialing anything actually. So yeah. 2 Torrential Tributes, and for the last card, Psychic Overload. It's basically a mini Pot of Avarice. Return 3 Psychic monsters in your graveyard to your deck, draw 2 cards. Really fun because it's also chainable. I like to set it, and then I have my 3 Psychics, I have Gores in hand, and this card is set. My opponent attacks, I chain on that attack, Psychic Overload, get my 2 draws, summon Gores. Problem opponent? No, really, it's pretty good. Then for the extra deck. Level 5s first of all. These 4. Magical Android, because I needed a Psychic monster for a level 5. It's also one of the best, and it's a light monster for Blacklisted Soldier. So yeah, Magical Android being a light monster, really awesome. It also gives me 600 life points in the end phase for every Psychic monster that I control. Really good because I can live longer because of it. Really, it helped me in lots and lots of situations. The second one, Naturia Beast. I run lots of Earth monsters, so Naturia Beast is one of the most easiest thing to make in this deck. Just negate any spells your opponents try to throw at you. Dark Hole, Source of Revealing Light, MST, Heavy, just negate it all. Tech Genius Hyper Librarian. Why do I play this? I run it over Catestor just because of the fact that I want those draws. Psychics, I already draw a lot, but drawing more would actually benefit me even more. It would create OTK turns, and yeah, it gives me a lot of possibilities. Now, I also run this over Catestor because I want to stop Lavals before they make Shooting Quasar Dragon. What does this mean? Imagine I don't have Veiler, I don't have Max C to draw more, I don't have Gores. Librarian on the field, make sure that I can draw into those cards. If I get what I need, Librarian just saved my ass. Last card, Tech Genius Wonder Magician. Like I said, I can make it fairly easily if I have like these 2 or something. I just need a Warwolf and any level 2 tuner. Tech Genius Wonder Magician. If I have it on the field, Synchro Summon it, destroy 1 spell or trap. All pretty good. And its second effect is even just as good actually. When it's destroyed, just destroyed, it doesn't need to be sent to the graveyard, so even Bottomless activates this effect. I can draw a card, so it's +1 for me. Then the third effect, if I want, I can even Synchro Summon in my opponent's turn, so imagine I have Silent Psychic Wizard on the field. With this, my opponent summons something with 2000 attack, Leviathan Dragon, goes for 2500 attack, Synchro before the battle phase, get my Hyper Psychic Blaster out. Truly awesome. Truly awesome. So yeah, that rounds up the level 5 Synchros. Now for the level 6, I only play 2. Psychic Nightmare and Echuria Barkion. I don't know if you can actually see the Barkion really good, but yeah. Okay, Echuria Barkion and Psychic Nightmare. Psychic Nightmare, first of all, is my Psychic monster. It's really great because it already has 2400 attack, and when I use this effect correctly, I gain attack up to 3400. So try to defeat the 3400 beater. Basically, it's really difficult. It gets overshooting Star Dragon if I really need to. So yeah. Then for the other one, really obvious, Naturia Barkion stops my opponent's traps because I hate traps. Now these are both 2 specific level 6 monsters. That's like the only problem in this deck. I should add a Gaia Knight or an Iron Chain Dragon or something, but I don't have the room anymore in my extra deck, so yeah. Psychic Nightmare needs Psychic non-tuners. Naturia Barkion needs Earth non-tuners. So basically, if I mind control a level 4 and I only have a level 2 tuner, I can't make anything because I only have these two. That's pretty unfortunate, but I haven't really gotten any problems with it. I mean, I haven't been able to use it like once or something or 2 times, but I really don't care. Then for the level 7s, Psychic Life Transfer as my Psychic, and Black Rose Dragon as my normal. Black Rose Dragon, everybody should play it, even if you don't have any synchros in your deck. You just Monster Reborn a tuner from your opponent's graveyard, and you can still Black Rose a field. I mean, it's pretty easy. Psychic Life Transfer, why do I run that? 2400 attack, 2000 defense, kind of the same as Black Rose with a 2400 attack. This card makes you control your graveyard for Grand Soil. You just banish an Earth Psychic monster and make sure you have the 5 Earths in your grave for Grand Soil. So pretty good, and you also replenish some life points to live longer. Yeah. Give me that souls. Then my level 8s, Thought Ruler Archfiend and Scrap Dragon. Scrap Dragon, everybody knows this, I don't think I have to talk about this anymore. It's a great card, why shouldn't I play it? I play level 8s. Thought Ruler Archfiend, best level 8 psychic monster there is. I think it's the only one, so I'm not surprised there. It's a dark monster, so great for BLS, another target. It lets me gain life points if I destroy a monster with it. Really good, and it has some good stuff when my opponent tries to target, but they probably won't, unless they want to drop my life points by 1,000 or something, so yeah. That's the Thought Ruler Archfiend. Scrap Dragon, I've chosen it over Stardust Dragon, just because of the fact that Scrap Dragon has, first of all, higher attack. Second of all, it can destroy the mirror forces before my Stardust runs into it. Also, this format, many players play Dimensional Prisons, and Stardust just has no answer for Dimensional Prisons. So, yeah, basically Scrap Dragon is still kinda better in that scenario. Then for my level 9s, Hyper Psychic Blaster and Overmind Archfiend. I really like these cards. People may think they are hard to summon, but for me they really aren't. I mean, Hyper Psychic Blaster, if you have Overdrive Teleporter on the field and you use this effect to get a Psychic Commander, you can already synchro these two into the Hyper Psychic Blaster. It's a really easy play. You get it off a lot in duels if you really want to. And Hyper Psychic Blaster also has another effect, which makes it even more viable. I mean, it has a piercing effect. Spirit Reaper, don't make me laugh, 2700 damage. I mean, 3000 attacker that does piercing damage, that's insane. Also, the damage your opponent receives from that piercing attack, you will gain those as life points. Spirit Reaper, bash into Spirit Reaper. You lose 2700, I gain 2700. Don't you like the difference of 5400 life points? Deal with it. Now I think of it, Spirit Reaper has 200 defense, so 2800 damage and 2800 life point healing, so 5600 difference. Don't you like it? Deal with it. Hyper Psychic Blaster, great card. Then Overmind Archfiend, really difficult to summon. You need 1 Psychic type tuner and 2 Psychic type non-tuners. Mostly I summon it. It's kind of difficult to summon, but yeah. Overdrive Teleporter, get a Psychic Commander and a Hush Psychic Cleric, and then most of the time I hope I have a Serene Psychic Witch on the field, or I Mind Control Sangan from the opponent or something, or I Mind Control Tour Guide, stuff like that. I might Emergency Teleport into a Serene Psychic Witch. I do have options to make it, and with the Hush Psychic Cleric I can even banish another tuner, just so I can tune with the Overdrive Teleporter as well. Don't let it be on the field for nothing. Overmind Teleporter, Overmind Archfiend, if you get it to the field, it is boss. 3300 attack, 3000 defense. This means that even in defense, a Grapha can't get over it. BLS can't get over it. They have to banish it. They have no other options. Overmind Archfiend's effect on its own is also pretty damn awesome. You have Psychic Monster in your graveyard. Once turn you can banish one. Banish a Hyper Psychic Blaster. Banish your Thought Ruler Archfiend. Banish your Aspergirl because that card likes to be banished. Whenever Overmind Archfiend leaves the field and goes to the graveyard, you get back every single monster you banished with this guy's effect. Every single one. You can even use it to bring to control your graveyard a bit more for Grand Soil, stuff like that. Overmind Archfiend is all in all a great card, and I don't see why nobody runs it. I mean, you have to use 3 cards for it to summon, true, but I don't really mind. I mean, if it goes off, it's a win condition. Really. Your opponent won't be able to get over it really quickly, so yeah. Then for my X seeds, I play Wind Up Zenmains and Leviar the Sea Dragon. Zenmains seems obvious enough. My opponent summons Sangan, I try to mind control it and go into Zenmains. That's one of the only times I actually make Zenmains, because else I don't have any uses for it. And the second one is Leviar the Sea Dragon. This one I do like to play sometimes. I mean, when my Serene Witch gets Solemn Warninged, and the Esper Girl stays banished, my Leviair comes in to save the Esper Girl, and I can start trolling again with the Esper Girl, and drawing a lot, so yeah. This card is really good for me. Last but not least, for my extra deck, Ultimate Accent Kicker. This card is, I mean, this is a win condition. If you get this on the field, you basically won already. This card can't be destroyed by card effects, so that's already pretty damn awesome. No Torrential, no Bottomless, no Dark Hole, no Scrap Dragon, nothing of that. Ultimate Accent Kicker, when he attacks a defense position monster, it does piercing damage, and you also gain life points equal to the attack of destroyed monsters. So yeah, pretty damn awesome. It's kinda a combined Hyper Psychic Blaster with Thought Ruler Archfiend. It can only be destroyed at 3 ways. Like, if you remove it from play, if you send it back to my extra deck, or if you just run over it by battle. So yeah. Also, what I've seen some people do is summon Maestroke, switch this thing face down defense position, just run over it. It only has 1700 defense. I do want to notice that you have to be wary, because I can just emergency teleport during the battle step, get Psychic Commander on the field, and then you need to have a 2200 beater to get over this. Although what I do sometimes see is that people Book of Moon this and just target it with effects then and destroy it, so yeah. Although when you get it out, the Ultimate Accent Kicker, it's an 80% win condition on its own, so yeah, pretty damn awesome. I've already explained the extra deck to you guys. 2 Thunder Kings, 2 Kinetics, Side Blocker, Prohibition, 2 System Downs, MST. This is the one extra MST I'm actually doubting over to main deck, but yeah, I'll just keep it for now in the side deck. Dust Tornado, 2 Royal Decree, 2 Bottomless, and a Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. That rounds up the deck. I'm gonna put these 3 right here. Then you can smile at those. For you guys, like, comment, subscribe. It all helps the video to get noticed. Put those thumbs up. It would really make me happy. If you have any comments about the deck, if you just want to say it, just comment below. I don't really care. I will answer to it. I'll take everything in consideration. If you have good tips, if you have hints, if you want to let me know something, it could all help. So yeah. For now, I'd say bye, and I'll see you in the future probably. So KM888 signing out. Bye.